Shafi, you little rascal. Uh, so when you messaged me about doing the pod, we were going back
Yeah.
and forth. You really teased me with a story. And, but I almost don't want to. I don't even want to say what it was because I don't want to ruin it for people. I don't want to ruin your telling of this story.
I don't think I told you the entire thing though. It was like
No. You just gave me a
yeah.
little taste.
Yeah. I gave you a clickbait article. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And you clicked
I
hard.
clicked. A little key bump to the outtake. Oh, so what? Without we could just get right into it. What happened?
So, so I don't know if this counts as my hell gig or if I was part of this hell gig, but this was like a crazy situation, right? I was at Albany Funny Bone working with Ryan Hamilton. Can I name drop?
Yeah, great.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Ryan Hamilton and I working, and it was just like crazy. It was like a fun weekend, 5 shows, all sold out. And last show, right? He's gonna leave. He's gonna leave. Last show, we're like nothing can go wrong, right? Like what's gonna go wrong? It's like we're almost there. 11 p.m. It's in a mall, right? Funny Bone. You have been there. You know
Yes.
the drill.
Right. And the hotel's like right across the parking lot. So
Exactly.
It's very easy. It's a very
right.
easy weekend.
Right. So I get heckled, but that's not even the part of the story, right? I finish my set, right? I am standing watching this guy just like kill, like literally like destroy, right? And I don't know, like this was like I like Ryan Hamilton a lot. It's like, you know, like if you're a serial killer, it's like working with Ted Bundy. It's like oh my God, what an honor. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, this is great. I'll get to work with Ryan. It's gonna be so fun. And I was like super excited and all of that. And like it's, you know, about to come to an end. But obviously, you know, like you don't do good shows all the time, right? Like before I opened for a band at a beach. You know what I mean? It's like the worst. Like I was like, people are like, kids are swimming, the lifeguard is like running across as I'm talking to them. I'm like, dude, can you stop? Like, and it's like open space, literally open space. People are like heckling me, no one cares. And like, thank God I got paid because I would have had the worst time. Like I should have practiced because now everything is outside. So like I should have practiced opening for that band. It was like the worst. So I was like super excited, looking forward to this gig. And then, so like end of 5 shows are about to end. And all of a sudden, right, I see the Funny Bone manager that, you know, comes running. This is like all true. You look this up. This is on the news, right? She comes to me and she goes that you gotta stop Ryan from performing because there might be a shooting going on, right? There might be a shooting in the mall. And the first thought I have is like, this is never gonna make the news. This is Albany Funny Bone. Like, I'm gonna die in vain. No one will find out about this.
Right. Hey, no one's gonna be like Shafi was saying, a lot of potential, you know? Like, no one's gonna know.
Even if they do, they'll be like, oh, it was Ryan's show. Ryan killed and he died. You know what I mean? Like, no one knows about the opener. Like, no one cares.
Yeah, no one credits. If there's a shooting at a comedy club, nobody credits the first build comics. No one's like, all right, and your MC and your feature that died tonight were also, you know.
Also part, yeah. Please leave your comments to show respect for Shafi, who no one knows. Yeah. So like, she tells me, and then I like try to look outside the venue, like, and I see people just running out the doors, and I'm panicking, right? I'm panicking, and I look inside the club now, and the contrast, right? People are having like such a good time inside, like no one knows what's gonna go down right now. You know, it's like I don't know, like Get Out, like everyone is having a good time, but there's this other side. You know what I mean? This other side that's waiting for them, and like the manager expects me to stop Ryan from performing, And he was doing this bit, like at the end, we talked all weekend. He was like, "Oh, I'm working on this bit," and it's like the bit he's working on, right? And I'm like, "Oh, I can just like stop. I can just stop him from doing everything he was working towards the entire weekend is leading up to this point, and I'm just gonna go stop him from doing the only thing he's looking forward to, because everything else is like he's kind of like working out like different material from his hour that he did in Happy Face and stuff, and like it's like I like the idea of me stopping, it would be like a karaoke singer stopping Beyonce from singing. You know what I mean? Like I'm no one. Like I should have no right to stop this guy. And like I'm walking slowly and I'm panicking. Like I don't know what to do, because I've never stopped a white man from talking before. You know what I mean? That's like huge. So I'm slowly walking towards the stage, and Ryan like looks at me, and he's like smiling. He's like, he's like a smiley comedian. He's smiling, looking at me, and I don't know what to do. So I give him a thumbs down, and he's like, "What are you doing?" Like I was like panic. I don't know what to do, and I was like, "What?" And he like walked towards me, and he's like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "We have to evacuate. I think there's like shooting going on. So just tell everyone to like not panic, and we'll evacuate from the site, right?" And so like he like tells everyone that, hey, don't worry, we just have to end the show. There's been a commotion outside, and we have to kind of evacuate through the right side of the stage. You know what I'm talking about, the right side of the stage.
Yes.
And Ryan and I are like, we're just standing on the side, and people are like some of them are panicking, some of them are coming to get selfies before the meet. I'm like, are you out of your mind? Like, what are you doing? Run for your life. And like some people are like booing, like they're looking at me while they're booing. They're like, how could you stop the show? You know what I mean? Like it's my fault. Like it's my fault. And they're like taking selfies. I'm like, you gotta go, you gotta leave. And Ryan is like live streaming this at the same time. I don't know if you go back to his like Facebook feed, maybe you'll see this somewhere. Like it was like August 11, 2019. If you look on the news, it's on the news. Okay. And we are just like, okay, shit, we don't know what to do. And we peek out like on the exit stairs. There's like 46 cop cars outside. It's like red and blue. No one knows what's going on. And we're like, just like Ryan and I are talking, and we're like, we just hope we get paid. You know what I mean? Like we're like, even then we're just thinking about getting paid. And the cops are there, and we're trying to like go on Twitter to see what's going on, if we get updates. And like all the PDs of like Saratoga, like all the popular spots, Saratoga, Schenectady, all the big cop stations, they're just all like, oh, this is the biggest thing that can happen to our life. Let's go to the mall, And so they're investigating. We have no idea what's going on. Literally zero clue, right? And then Ryan and I, we just like sit there like locked out for an hour. We get some food, like hang out, and then like he leaves. The next morning we find out what happened. There was 2 16-year-olds got in a fight in a trampoline park. There's a trampoline park at the mall. Right. They get in a fight, and they called backups. Over 300 people showed up for these 2 kids. I don't even have 300 Twitter followers. You know what I mean? Like, how do these people have so many fans? I don't get it. I'm doing comedy. I just need some fans. No one shows up for me. So I was just like pissed. They just like punched each other, and someone shot just blank shot in the mall, but no one died. Nothing happened. Someone assaulted a cop when they tried to break the fight. And that was it. It was 2 16-year-olds made everyone leave, and just like destroyed one of Ryan's best bits. I think that he's probably mad about it still. I don't know, but that was like, I don't know if it's a hell gig, but it was just like one of the craziest experiences I was part of.
Yeah, man, that's a hell gig, because you had the fear of death. Like, people come on here and tell stories like the mic didn't work, the lighting was bad, I got heckled. No one has ever been like, we had to end the show early because someone could have killed us. Like that. Of course, the hell gig. The funniest part is that you're both just like, man, if they're gonna try to skip out on pay, this would be the way to do it. Like, if they're like, hey,
you guys didn't finish the show, so my dad, like, we don't have to pay you.
Said an hour.
Yeah.
We're a little short.
Yeah, right away we order salmon. We're like, let's get the best meal out of this at least.
Right.
I mean,
That's such a comic move to be like, well, I don't know if that check's gonna clear, so I'll have the steak and a side of pasta.
yeah. Can I go something to go as well? I'm like feeling like a shrimp, like a trio shrimp with like squid. Like I don't even like squid. I'll just take it.
I'm just gonna take it and throw it on the floor.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So, all right. So let's break it down a little bit more. So how much time do you think goes by from the time that the manager says you have to go get him off stage to where you get him off stage and people start to leave?
So the manager comes to me, tells me, and I immediately go out to look at what's going on, the situation. And I see everyone just like rushing out, like running, not like walking, like speed walking. Like if it was like a Olympic event, like it's like, oh, let's see who can escape, the fastest. That's what they're doing. No one was like, oh yeah, I'll be fine. Like I wish they had the same attitude with the mask. People are like relaxed. They're like, nah, we don't need masks. But everyone there was like, let's go. We might die. And like the situation in America, it's like you never know what's gonna happen if you hear a gunshot. So like people were like scared and like leaving fast. And then I was slowly walking. I wasn't running. My manager said that you should go run and start the show. I was like, I'm not gonna run. If I run, if someone sees a brown man run to the stage, like that's not gonna go well. I'm not gonna run. And then if I tell them, oh, everyone evacuate, like that's not gonna work out well. So run to the stage, everyone. And I did like ISIS joke, I think that said. I don't know. I did something that I'm sure I did something. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna just go out, run to the stage. I'm gonna slowly walk and I'll handle the situation. So it was like probably around 5 minutes it took me to like completely like analyze the situation and see what's going on and then go slowly. But everyone was panicking. The staffs were running around. Food's like, oh, by the way, everyone who ate that night got free food because everyone just left. No one paid. Like the funny one took a loss. They took a huge hit. You know what I mean? Because they just got free meal. No one's like, before you evacuate, can you pay for this like sweet potato fries? No, they're just like going.
You're not on stage like, all right, your credit cards are coming around right now. And when you're done, please leave promptly.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine the people who wanted a selfie. I'm like, you have like no love for your life. You want a selfie?
Isn't that crazy that like people are so checked out of what's going on?
For sure. Like don't you have anything to lose? Like what are you gonna get out of what kind of a archetype of a human being you are? You know what I mean? Everyone is like, there might be a shooting. You're like, but hold on, there's like a lot of people. I might live. You know what I mean? Like might as well take a picture real quick now that I'm so close to the performer. Because right, like big performers, they don't really wait around the stage unless there's like a VIP ticket where you have to like meet and greet or whatever. So like they're like, oh shit, like Netflix just came out and it was like Ryan was like very popular. He's like one of the most popular comics in the country. So people were just like, let's take a selfie.
Oh my God,
crazy.
So when you're hiding, like all right, you tell Ryan we got to get out of here. People start to leave, and are you hiding out in the Funny Bone?
Oh yeah, we couldn't even go to the green room because the green room is exposed to the outside, right? You can see. So people are like, we can't let you go inside. We are just like inside the hall. We're just sitting inside the hall because they're like, we don't want to risk anything. They like turn all the lights, shut everything down, and like maybe like an hour later, I like sneaked in to get my backpack, and then after everything was settled, we took our stuff and left. But like, that's not even, I should have known that I was like about to face something real, like, you know what I mean? Because like that day when I was driving I remember this because I wrote this idea down when I was driving to the show. I remember this vividly because like it's not every day that happens. Like I was driving to the cross gates, right? And this dude like extremely fast driving. You know how at times like it's like a freeway. So I was merging in. Like I was about to hit a car as well before the show. And this guy like takes over and he had a bumper sticker that said coexist. I'm like, you can't drive like this. How about you coexist behind me? Like, why would you do that? Your messaging and your actions are not aligned, my friend. Right. So I was like, I knew something was gonna go off, and that's what happened. I should have known. Dude,
that is insane. So like you go back once you figure out. So you're in the. This is now not even a Helgix podcast. This is journalism that people are doing after shootings. I mean,
oh, it's on the news, dude. Yeah, I don't think I made the news, but it's on the news.
like, I'd love to just get a quick clip. Just like,
yeah.
it's like, and tonight, Shafi, you know him from CNN, and like, does he have a show on there? No, he was in a mall shooting.
Does he do comedy? No, he's just a survivor.
Yeah, that's right. So you, all right, you're in the.
Also, I didn't tell you this. I had a crush, like a crush attend the show. Like she came to see me perform that night. I know it's like everything that could go wrong. Like it was just like she DM'd me. She was like, "Oh, like I see her," because she saw me in a show prior, and she's like, "Oh, I wanna see you perform like Ryan Hamilton. I like Ryan Hamilton a lot, and I'll come see you as well." It's like, yeah, that'd be great. And she comes with her friends, and then this is what happened. And I've never seen her since then. That was it. That was it. She's like, I'm never going to do a comedy show again. You know what I mean? That was it.
That could have went one of two ways, where she's like, wow, we survived this traumatic thing together.
We're meant to be.
We're meant to be. We're the only two people that know each other. Or it could have went like, when you do comedy, people get killed. And that now, because they always say like, it only takes one bad show to ruin comedy for people. Yeah. So this could have been that show.
That was the show.
She just thinks all stand-up comedy shows
ends up in shooting, dude.
And some should.
She's probably like before all the school shootings, there was probably a comedy show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, no wonder they're shooting all these school stuff, doing comedy before classes start.
Yeah. Why are they doing comedy at 7 a.m.? This is ridiculous.
Right. That sounds like a corporate gig. They're just like, all right, we're gonna have comedy for the kids.
It is a corporate gig sponsored by the NRA.
Yeah. Oh my God. So, all right. So you finally are allowed to leave. They tell you it's all clear?
Yeah. 46 cop cars still around. Me and Ryan just like sneaking out slowly. Like it's like 12:30, I think. Right. And then we hug. Ryan and I hug. Like we're like, oh, we're bros now. You know what I mean? Like this is it. We survived together. It was like the best hug. Like I haven't had a hug, obviously, all throughout COVID. You know. So that was probably the last tight hug I had, I think. It was like, you know what I mean? Like whenever you tell someone bad news, like I had once I told one of my best friends that my grandma passed away, and he hugged me so tight, like not the usual hug. Like it's like, oh yeah, hug me. Maybe if you hug me tighter, my dead grandma will come back. Like, what are you doing? I'm already in emotional pain. You're causing me physical distress. Like, why are you doing this to me right now? So we hugged it out, and then I saw him a few times in the city, but yeah, we have been in touch. But it was fine.
Oh my God! So are you able to like go to sleep? Like I know after a bad set, I'm like up all night. But yeah. Are you just full of adrenaline? Are you crashing after this?
I was just mad because I took like a comedy class, and the instructor was never like, okay, let's practice performing when there's an active shooting around. You know what I mean? Like that should be a scenario. In America, at least, you got to perform every job with the active shooting situation. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm just like mad about that never happened.
And comics are the type of people that'll be like, well, we're not going to end early, are we? Like, I'm still like, comics are the people that are going out in COVID and be like, so are you booking or are you not booking? And
like, oh, there's a shooting. Who books that? Can I send the tape? Who's the
right. Wait, how many people showed up to the shooting?
Oh, there's a packed house. Hell yeah, dude. I'll do it. I'll pay you to do it.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's insane. So then you drive back to New York and you've had this experience. So like, are you like, I can't wait to tell everybody that I was a part of it? Or is it like no one will even believe this was true? Or
well, they kind of have to believe because it's on the news. They can like double check and verify my information,
Yeah, right.
And was like live streaming this as well. And I'm sure like if you type in the date and like Albany local news, you'll find it on the news they were talking about it. Because I saw it the next day just to make sure what was going on. And I wasn't dreaming, Right. I don't do drugs, but I felt like I was doing drugs. You know what I mean? It's like, what is going on? Yeah, it was crazy. Like I don't think I have talked extensively about this with a lot of people, mostly because I'm trying to suppress it. I don't know. It was wild. It was also like a fun weekend. It was such a fun weekend because the crowds were really fun. And Ryan's shows are like, they have like a very specific, he has a very specific fan base. So they're like fun, welcoming. So it was really a fun weekend, and it's so much fun. And that, because we survived, was also a cherry on the top. You know what I mean? The idea that you survive. It's like if you're a Titanic, you crash, but then if you survive, you're like, oh, this feels good. You know what I mean? Like if you remember when you're like late for class, you think you're late for class, you wake up, you're like, oh shit, I'm late for class, but you realize it's like not in an hour. You're like, oh my God, this is good.
Yes, it's that feeling of relief. I mean,
yeah.
Talking about driving from shows, I've driven home, where if you're driving from shows and you don't have a hotel, you're usually driving in odd hours of the night. And you know that feeling when you get back to your apartment or your room after driving all night and you're like, I can't believe I made it. Like, I can't.
Oh, for sure. Like, I have like, because like 2-3 hours driving, like to Maine, to New Hampshire, to Boston, and then drive back, same night. Right. And like so many times I had to like do pit stops and just take like 15-minute naps in my car. Yeah. And like, there's like trucks and a coupe and a small car. You're like, what is going on? Like, why is that guy sleeping? Right. Like stops and then me. There's no one else. And they obviously like I paid a lot of money in nuggets. But that's gonna happen once you're up. Yeah.
Oh my God, dude, that is insane. I can't even imagine. Like, it's so funny though that you were also like just sort of staying in there and like peeking out. Like the cynic in every comic is like, but really, like, is it really? Like, hey, we gotta get out of here. Like you're like, how bad is it? And then they're like, well, I'm gonna sneak in and get my book bag because it's got 4 notebooks. Like, bought those notebooks.
Yeah, they're more valuable than a salmon. You know what I mean?
Right.
I need those notebooks. And I think I had a hike the next morning planned. You know what I mean? I had like a hike plan that I had to go to, and I was like, oh my God, it's 1. I have to get up at 6 and go on a hike to like this place, and I was just like panicking. I was like, oh my God, I probably. And like hikes are like the weirdest thing as well. Like, but like the entire weekend was like so weird and fun and interesting. It was just like fun.
How long do you think it took you to sort of? I mean, you're reliving it now, but how long do you think it took you to come sort of back to reality? Like, were you back next weekend doing shows? You're like, all right, we're just moving, or did you start to? Were you still in this weird headspace?
I think I had a festival the following weekend, so I had to fly. And I was thinking, I was like, okay, hopefully there's nothing going wrong in a flight,
Right.
It was like a cross-country flight as well. And the shows were fantastic, like the contract, like the shows at the Funny Bone were fantastic as well. It was just like that brief moment that just made the highlight, you know what I mean? Which is like interesting. It had nothing to do with the comedy, you know what I mean? But there's like so much comedy in itself.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but I shared it to like some people in the festival. I remember talking about it, and they're like, "Oh, how was your last weekend?" You know what I mean? So, did you get locked up in like a active mall shooting situation? Because that was
right. But they're like, "But how was your set? Like, was your set good?
Did you kill? Did you crush though? Did you get the laughs?"
Yeah, right.
Yeah, my crush never talked to me, so that happened.
Nothing. Nothing. Like, are you okay?
No, I was like blown away that she wouldn't even like ask me if I was okay. I was like, how can you, like, you were like, and she wanted free tickets, by the way. She's like, oh, gonna get free tickets? And I was like, yeah, I'll send you some guest passes, whatever, if I have some. And nothing, like, none of that. Not even like, I hope you're okay. Not even like, are you okay? Then that means there's a conversation. You ask a question, I hope you're okay, good seeing you, whatever, and then block me, whatever. You know what I mean?
Or like, did you survive? I mean,
and the worst part is, I don't know if she didn't talk to me, if it's for my comedy or for the shooting. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Think about this. I'll be like at the altar, getting married to my wife, and I'm like, was that like? If we talk, like, would we have worked out? Like, I don't know. Like,
right.
Comedy she hated. I'll always think about that.
Oh my God. Just the fact that like maybe she goes home and her parents are like, how was the show? And she's like, he wasn't for me, you know? Like you mentioned the shooting.
It was dark comedy, Mom. I don't know what to tell you. It was dark humor.
It was very avant-garde. He said something about everybody dying, and then
Yeah.
I don't know, people had to leave. It was like an Andy Kaufman bit. Like,
Oh my
wow.
God, dude.
And I guess, I mean, this is so far removed from the normal bad show, but like you're back in your hotel room. I always like to ask comics, like, after the bomb, after the bad set, after the crazy show, what's your sort of coping mechanism? But for this, you're back in a hotel room, you're in Albany, you're sitting in a Holiday Inn or whatever by yourself. I mean, what goes through like, you get into the room and that feeling when you finally, you take the show shirt off, you hang it up, or you throw it somewhere, you just have a moment where you're finally at ease. Like, whether the show was good or bad, it's completely quiet in the room. What is going through your head then? Is it, wow, I can't believe I'm here? Or is it almost too crazy to even understand?
I think I went back and I watched an episode of Friends. It's like my palate cleanser. You know what I mean? I like, if I'm like feeling down or whatever, I'll just like watch a random. I'll like turn, and it's always on TV too, right? It's like easy to like just like skim through. So I remember watching that, and I had like a bucket of wings. I remember I was just like, oh, just like stress eating. You know what I mean? Stress eating, and then I probably meditated and went to. I have this app called Smiling Mind. There's a meditation called Sleep. It's literally called Sleep, and it just like tells you like to relax and like be grateful for whatever happened throughout the day. And I'm pretty sure I had to put that on to be able to fall asleep.
That is so fascinating. That, I mean, you talk to comics and this, after bad shows, the coping mechanism usually is junk food, some sort of fast food in the hotel, on a drive-through, and something calming, something easy, like The Office or Friends. The fact that the coping mechanism for going through a mall shooting is the same as going through a bomb on stage is so telling of how you internalize comedy.
Yeah.
It is traumatic. It's I mean, there's not a better way than you have set it up here to show that bombing on stage is traumatic, and the
oh my God, for sure,
cure it is Wings or in Friends. It's like, that's great, because you immediately go for that thing that's comfortable.
For sure, yeah. Like, if I had my mom, I would just hug her for a bit, but she's like far away, so
right.
So I had to replace her with Wings and Friends and meditation.
Wow. Let me ask you, so to just off topic of this insane show experience, have you know how it is, like when you're first starting, you have some of these shows, you're like, what am I doing here? Why did this happen? But that was a good weekend comedically. It wasn't.
Oh, for sure.
It wasn't a bad
great.
weekend comedically.
No, it was amazing.
Comedically, for shows, have you ever had a show where you just can't figure out what's going on, nothing's connecting, and you have that moment where you're like, is this it? Am I done doing comedy? Have you ever had that?
Oh, for sure. But the idea, I think it was for me that I'm not going to stop because I was just too hooked. You know what I mean? That when you have a chemical reaction, you have this activation energy. Once you're over the hump, you can't go back. That's where I kind of reached, I think, in my mind with comedy. It's like, okay, I like it too much, like, not do it. So, but like, there's so many bombs, right? So many bad bombs. And I think the band one the week before was probably like one of the worst bombs. And it was like my friend's band, and they're like fun people, great people. And they have no idea like how comedy kind of works at the time, maybe, or they do know, but they're like nice enough to have me on. But they're like super kind people, super fun people. And they're probably like thinking that they're doing me a favor by inviting me to an open beach. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, it was an open beach, and there people are just, it's like summertime. It was like the people are not gonna like sit indoors anyway, and there's nothing indoors. There's like nothing. There's like I'm trying to like connect. I'm like, oh, so who likes swimming? And everyone's swimming away. You know what I mean? I can't even do crowd work. I'm like, they're like swimming away. And I remember that show. I remember like, you know, there's like a bunch of diverse people. And I remember after the show, a guy comes up to me. He's like, kind of a redneck, but sweet dude, I'm assuming, you know. I never take offense to someone like asking me any question about my culture, because I think it's my duty to kind of tell them to like, you know, not educate them. I don't want to use that word, but like, you know, cross barriers. Like I can ask them questions. That's how I learned so much about being in this country, and they don't know, they haven't been to my country. So this dude, I'm sure he's like a good dude at heart and had the best intentions, but comes to me and he's like, hey, you're shaved. Is that illegal for your culture? He's like, is that illegal? Like a billion Muslims. I'm not even practicing, but like the billion Muslims, like, do they have to shave? And who's gonna police that, by the way? A billion and a half Muslims. So it's like, hey, you didn't shave. Go to the shave jail or something. Like, what are you thinking? You know? And that guy was just like the funniest dude. And it was like, you should do some jokes about hijab and like why that's weird. I'm like, dude, what are you doing right now? Like, what are you? It's like the most bizarre experience, dude. That was bomb, because like I remember someone heckling me really bad, because like I was trying to do like everything I can, and it was like I couldn't connect. And they're like, you're bad at your job, and I'm like, yeah, this is not what I pictured.
My job.
This is not what I pictured. I thought it was tight. It's like, I think Dimitri Martin or someone said comedy venues are good for shows that are good for comedy is bad for fire, right? And this is really good for fire. You can escape, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is not how I signed out. This is not how I practiced my comedy classes. Like, okay, so like, remember when you go to the beach, you should have jokes about swimming, the ocean, and how music bands should not ask comics to open. You know what I mean? Like that's
right. That's insane when people, they want you to perform well in a situation where it's not set up to do well. It's like, well, if you were an accountant and you were used to working in an office with internet and a computer, and then we took your computer and put it in the sand on a beach, do you think you'd be able to do your job? Like,
even if you did, you'd complain the heck out. And that's all I did. I complained about it. I did my job. I didn't like say, nah, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
You know, I just did a bad job, because if it was not the like imagine a virus, you know, trying to, like, right now, let's talk about the current COVID cannot act in hot climates. You know what I mean? It's killing right now. This weather is good for COVID, but like if you change the temperature, it's gonna die, and that's what happened. You know, we need optimal temperature, optimal setting for us to do my job.
If there's anything we've learned from this episode, is that comedy is most similar to invisible, life-taking viruses and mall shootings. Shafi, thank you so much for doing this. I love you, buddy. And
I love you, buddy.
You are one of the hardest working, just kindest, best, funniest dudes I know. And
I appreciate that.
Yes, of course. I mean it. Please tell people where to hear your new podcast.
It's called Americanized, and the premise of the show is how America influences the globe. So it's more like a historical podcast, and I try my best to make it funny. So check that out at all the, you know how like whenever a podcast ends, they're like, oh, you'll find this podcast wherever you find your podcast. And I feel so weird saying it, but it's true, you know?
Right.
So, oh, the arrogance. Oh, wherever? Yeah, wherever.
Yeah, right.
So find it wherever you find Hell Gigs podcast.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to connect with me, Shafi Stands Up, Instagram, Twitter, and you know, you see my website, you'll find it. Shafi was saying there's only one Shafi is in comic, I think. So
right, you've cornered the market.
But dude, my goal is to be the most popular Shafi Hossain on the first page of Google. But there's this one dude, like it's like there's this one dude in the US who was like a chemist, and that's so like crazy for me because I'm a chemical engineer by trade, and this guy was a chemist, had a patent. And that's how he like makes in the top because he has a patent, you know what I mean? And I'm like, damn, I need a patent, you know, I need to like outdo this guy.
We just need more people going to your website.
Yeah, no, I have like a lot of the things are on the first page, but this also sneaks in. I want all first page to be Shafi Hossain, but like this other Shafi Hossain gets in, and I'm like, nah, can't happen.
Okay, so we need to get rid of him. Got it.
He is dead. It says like dead, like you know how people like write like nice things after you die in a page.
Right.
Like, there's like a website for like people to say nice things about him after he passed away. He's a sweet dude, I'm sure. But like that page is more popular than like a lot of my stuff that's on the internet. That's like I can't live with that.
Oh, what a crime! Oh my God! Oh my God! Thanks, buddy. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you, Collin. Tell people where they can find you. No, I'm joking. I love you.
This dad, if you're listening, you know how to get it. Awesome.